Hey teacups, welcome back to the All About the Tea channel. I'm your girl Monica. Joining me tonight is RJ of the Black Socialites. Hey RJ.
Hey Monica, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. You look wonderful. I love that sparkly shirt, navy. I know that's right. Oh, okay. Maybe.
I'm feeling like a maybe tonight though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I like when you come prepared to the party. I love it. I love it. So, RJ, introduce yourself to the teacups.
So, my name is RJ. I am one half of the Black Socialites. And yeah, that's who I am. I'm not a blogger. I've sort of like risen to the occasion of doing things the way Kyle would do them, but I'm not a blogger. But I'm trying to navigate this the best way that I can, and that's who I am.
I'm gonna go ahead and add a teacup affiliate out of the DMV, Marcella. Hey, Marcella.
Hi. You know what? RJ say I'm the first lady of Black Socialites. And we neither one of us are bloggers, but we just love, and we're going to keep Kyle's legacy moving out.
Mm-hmm. Now, I couldn't imagine anyone in the chat not knowing who Kyle is, but if there are some new subs or some new people to the channel or reality television, RJ, explain who Kyle is, because he's royalty to us.
Yeah. I think in the RHOP universe and blog world, Kyle, especially when it relates to RHOP, was the creme de la creme. He was the tea. He had the tea. You want to talk about organic tea? It was him, and he was able to. He had the DMV in the palm of his hands. And not only that, but Al knew how to write a salacious story. He had the right words. He knew how to mince words. He could do graphics. He could do interviews. I mean, he just encompassed it all. And he had the memory bank of a supercomputer. I lied to you not. This boy was a literal, like, walking roll your clip. He did not forget anything. I don't think I've ever heard him in life say, I can't remember. He remembered everything like a book. That's who Kyle was. And he was an amazing person, a loyal person. If he was your friend, very, very loyal, very, very compassionate, funny. He has to be like one of the realest people that I ever met and one of the funniest people that I ever met. He would laugh about any and everything, and he would make things so light for me because during this whole, doing the whole Black Socialites, it was very stressful at times. And he would just laugh about everything. And nobody was safe from his, the way Kyle would play, not even me. I would be featured on the page some nights. He'd be like, meanwhile in Great Falls. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. He was great. He was awesome.
Yes, he was. And he'll be missed. Kyle passed away in November. And we celebrated his life here virtually. RJ, Marcella, myself, and Monique Samuels. And you can check out that memorial on my channel. We did that back in November. All right. First and foremost, I need y'all to subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button down below. Also hit that like button. And if you're already subscribed to the channel, bang that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of this great content. All right. Teacups, Chris Bassett has once again gone too far in his attacks on Black bloggers. His microaggression is out of control and needs to be addressed. Plus, I will also be releasing some private DMs that Chris Bassett has sent myself and other people. But before we get into that, let's roll.
A website called All About the Tea.
He told All About the Tea that during the fight,
Marcella, introduce yourself for those teacups or new subscribers that don't know who you are.
My name is Marcella, and I'm part of the Black Socialites, and I'm an encourager, and I support RJ. I mean, RJ, like he said, is not a blogger, but I am here I'm from the DMV. I often go in the DC area that I love to hang out at. And, you know, people are so nice to me. Sometimes people just are too nice and spill the beans. And when they spill the beans, I would tell Kyle, and Kyle would do the investigating and get all the juice.
Listen, Marcella, as she calls herself, is the first lady of the DMV, and she is our affiliate out of the DMV because she and RJ, let me tell y'all, they be having the tea down there. They're on ground level. They know what's going on, and they report it all back to me, and I just love it. Okay, y'all. So let's get started. Okay, let's cut to the chase. Back in June, Chris Bassett attacked Kyle of the Black Socialites with some very vile and nasty DMs that have never been released. Okay. But prior to that, let's fast forward to this week. RJ, who's the other half of the Black Socialites, he was mainly behind the scenes, got into a back and forth, a very tense discussion with Chris Bassett on IG Live. And that's why I brought RJ here today, because that needs to be addressed, as well as Chris Bassett attacking other Black bloggers, including myself. RJ, I brought you here because I want you to give me firsthand, blow by blow account of what happened during that discussion.
Well, let me just start. Where should I start? Okay. So Kyle and Chris Bassett, they have a long history of being in each other's DMs, and they would make up, break up all the time. There came a point where, you know, Kyle wanted to apologize to Candace. She did not want to have a conversation with him. So he did it via Chris Bassett, and he also apologized to Chris. But like I said, they would continuously, like, you know, break up, make up, or whatever. So, you know, Kyle passes away in November the 4th of 2020. And Chris out to me, and Chris says, you know, I'm so sorry for your loss. You know, even though Kyle and I did see eye to eye, you know, I would have never, you know, wanted this to happen. And he also sent condolences to the family. So after that, you know, to me, that kind of, you know, to me, that was nice. And then he also went further. I think like maybe the next day he went further and was just like, look, maybe we can grab drinks sometime, you know. And even though I was just like, wow, I wasn't expecting that, I was just like, okay, like that's cool. Like, you know, that's showing some humanity. So I was like, okay, that's cool. Like he's being like compassionate. So once we buried Kyle, the reunion was then coming up like a week and a half. You know, it was getting ready to come up. So he knew, like, he had just sent me the condolences, blah blah blah, and then a week and a half later he does the reunion. I had no clue what was going on at the reunion. I didn't know that Kyle's likeness was going to be brought up. So when I saw Sunday, like, first of all, how Monique was treated. That's first of all, because I care about her, and I'm really establishing something with Monique. So that hurt me, to see her being slaughtered like that on the reunion. That was first. And then when Chris brought up and threw out Kyle's likeness, you know, just, you know, to be a part of, just to hurt Monique, in my opinion, because they weren't able to get or penetrate Monique's composure. So they started just throwing any and everything. I really did not appreciate the way Chris did that. No, he did not say his name. He didn't have to, because everybody that's privy to the information knows who you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? His family, his mom, we were still grieving, and she saw it. You know, I saw it. His family saw it. So it was very hurtful. I felt like it was some sort of betrayal in a way. I'm like, why would you do all of that with me, in the DMs, and then you go on national TV and you do Kyle like that? Like, I'm so open-minded that I probably could have even appreciated, like, if he would have just been like, RJ, I might bring up Kyle's likeness. I mean, no harm. Whatever. And I would have been like, all right, Chris, I wouldn't have been happy about it, but I would have been like, okay, that's respectable. At least he's like giving me a heads up. But I was in awe and hurt seeing all of that. And on the Black Socialites, we recap shows. This is part of the brand. It was something that I could not stray away from. The viewers knew that I would be sure to do a live on the next day, and it was set for it. I did not want to do it. First, my mouth was swollen. I had some dental issues over the Christmas holiday. I couldn't get to a dentist because everything was closed. So my mouth was really, really swollen, and it hurt so bad. So I was in pain. I didn't want to do it. It hurt to talk. So that was one thing. And then another thing was that I just felt like I couldn't get myself in order to properly conduct a live. I was so upset, and the feelings were on the surface. But I was like, you know what? Kyle would have did it. Actually, Kyle would have did the live that night. But I was like, you know what? I need to just go ahead and push through and try to address it. Now, I ended up taking I surprised myself because I took a different direction than I had originally planned for. I had just planned to come on and just recap. But then at the last minute, and this is why I was 10 minutes late on the live, because it was supposed to be for 10 at 10 p.m. But I was late because something was just like, no, you need to go about this a different way. There's a TV in our kitchen area, and it's right behind me. And because certain people didn't want to roll clips on the reunion, I can roll the clips. I have that power to roll clips as well. So I decided to go ahead and input or insert the Candace photo behind me while I was doing my live, and also pull up on the screen behind me the YouTube clip that she said, "Wishing death on my friend."
Wow. Oh my goodness. Just for clarification, those that watched the reunion, Chris Bassett said, quote unquote, to Chris Samuels, your blogger friend talked about my kids. That's what he said, right? RJ? Yep. Wow, that's deep.
You support people who talk about people's kids, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Dude, like, come on. Give us a break. A couple weeks before this, Jamal Bryant had put Kyle, used Kyle's likeness as well. I blasted him. Anytime I ever brought up Kyle or his likeness, as a good friend, I always had something to say. When Candace wished death upon him, when she did that, oh my God, I lit all of it up. I tagged the producers, I tagged the execs, I tagged everybody. I was pissed. Kyle told me, I was so mad that Kyle was like, RJ, like, don't worry about it. He's like, don't even worry about it. I said, no. I was like, I'm going to worry about it. I said, she wished death on you. And then when Jamal Bryant said what he said, I blasted him too. Everything is still there on my page. So with Chris, I was upset, but I was like, I'm gonna give him a chance. Like, in my mind, I was thinking like, I'm gonna give him a chance because he follows me and I follow him. So I was just like, I'm mature enough to, even though I'm infuriated, I'm not gonna like block him or I'm not gonna delete him. I'm gonna see what he has to say at maybe a later time, because that night I addressed it on my page and I put it in my stories and I put, like I said, a post, and I tagged him and other people were tagging him. So I thought maybe he would have responded, but he didn't. So when I did my live, Chris was not a scheduled interview. There was not an interview to feature Chris Bassett. It was just for me to recap. So I later found out from people who follow me on my page that he was on the live 3 minutes in. I didn't get a chance to see that he was on until about 13, 14 minutes in, because when I first started, I had my own little thing going on. I wasn't even looking at the comments, honestly. So I didn't even know he was in. But not only was he in there, but they were telling me that he was like writing, like writing. So to me, that was just like, to me, I was confused. Like later when I found out that that was the case, I was confused by it because he saw all of my stories. Like he watched all of my stories. My stories featured him, like me calling him out. So when I finally saw that he was, in there in the room, I addressed him. And at first I was like, I was upset, but I was like, like, what do you have to say for yourself? And he started pulling my. So when I finally saw that, in there.
Are you playing this video in another window?
No.
Oh, that was Marcella. Okay. Sorry about that. Go ahead, RJ.
Yeah. So where was I at? So when I'm trying to figure out at what point was I. So anyway,
yeah.
Go ahead, Monica.
No, I was just reminding you where you were at, but go ahead.
Where was I?
You were saying that you were on the live that Sunday of the reunion, part 3, or was it part 2?
3.
Part 3, and then he started making comments in your live, right? You couldn't see them.
Oh, I know where I'm at. So when I tried to give him an opportunity to say whatever he needed to say, he was BSing me in the comments. Like he was Chris, to me, he was lying because he was like, I was like, look, I tagged you in the post that I did that Sunday and you didn't say anything. And I said, other people were tagging you too. He was like, oh, I didn't see it because my notifications were blowing up. And I literally said, I was like, okay, granted, I'll take that. But like, you saw my stories. Like there was like a moment where I realized that, oh my gosh, like stop playing with me. You saw my stories and you hear me yell. I was like, you saw all of my stories. Every single one of them, because that was the truth. I like flipped up in my stories, like on down to the very end, and saw his face on each and every one. And there was like multiple posts in my stories that were dedicated to him about what had happened the night previously. So I was livid after that. And then he was like, I like you and respect you, so I'll DM you. And then that sent me through. I was like, oh no. That's when you hear me say F that. Because I was like, you did it publicly. You need to say, apologize publicly. Like you tried to reach out to me and extend this olive branch and you crushed that to me. Like you crushed that. Like it was just like ran over in my opinion. And, once I got him on, I just wanted to hear, look, RJ, I apologize, bro. Like, I really didn't mean no harm by it. Like, this is what it was. But yet, instead, he kept telling me, let's back up. And that irritated me because I was like, no, let's not back up. I don't want to have a long, drawn out interview with you. I don't want to have this. And he said something like, I'm going to give you your moment. And to me, looking back at it now, I don't think he meant any harm. But in that moment, I was just like, to give me a moment? Really? At the time, I had like 3,200 followers on my Instagram. And the first 5 minutes of me doing my live, I had 112 people on the live at just in the first 5 minutes. I didn't need him to be. And I only had a little bit of followers, 3,200 and 112 people on the live. You could barely get 1 or 2 or 3 people on live sometime. So my live was doing just fine. And he was the one that wanted to come on and I allowed him to come on. But when he said, oh, I'm gonna give you a moment, Chris, I did not need you to give me anything. Trust me. I did not need that at all. I found that to be very disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just, I don't know. It just really got under my skin. But after a while, like you hear me, well, you see me get quiet, I become more composed and just open to listening to what he was saying. And I just let him talk. I just let him say whatever he needed to say or whatever he needed to get off of his chest. But what I do want to say though, Monica,
Yeah.
I want to apologize to the ladies for the language that I used on live that night. I called them hoes. I called Candace a hoe, and I used hoes to reference some of the people in the show, and I just want to apologize for that. My mom, Monica, ended up seeing my lot. Like once I made a YouTube, my mom was curious. She's a pastor, but she was curious to see what was going on with what I was doing, and she saw the video, and she checked me, and she was like, RJ, that is not, and I knew it was wrong. Even when I was doing the live, I was like, yeah, I know I called her out of her name. You hear me say that. But I was so pissed. But my mom checked me, and I just want to apologize, because that is right. I shouldn't have done that no matter what. So.
Yeah. Well, we all have our moments, I mean, and it's pretty big of you that you can apologize and recognize that.
I just, I try to be open and understanding of everybody and all sides. And when I listen to people, I listen to potentially be persuaded, not to have a solid stance on me and just look at the person like, okay, I already know what I'm about to say, and now I'm going to say it. I try to be open to potentially some sort of persuasion, because none of us are perfect. So when I'm having a conversation, I'm listening to see maybe if I fell short, or maybe if I'm wrong. And I think that's what a conversation is.
What bothered me so bad, because by me and you being so close to Kyle would tell me about these breakups and makeups of Chris, and Kyle ended up filing a complaint against Chris, and that was the domestic violence complaint he had in October. You remember a radio station guy asked Candace about the domestic violence, and she didn't want to speak on it because that was between Kyle and Chris. Chris had threatened Kyle, and I had the privilege of reading some of the DMs. Chris sounded like he was up and down. I just want you to learn my wife for herself. I just want you to say something good about my wife. You're not being biased, but see, that was Kyle's choice to choose who he admired. And then when Kyle asked me, okay, when we go on live, let's not talk about Candace. And then Candace would say something really crazy about Kyle. So on the other night, when Chris was on live with RJ, I find it hard to believe that Candace did not know Kyle's medical condition, because she said, I hope, with bated breath. And she knew, because there is no husband and wife that's together and they don't know each other. But I just feel like Chris is very condescending, because right after Kyle passed, he reaches out to me. And that wasn't the first time. The first time is while we on live with Kyle, and he regretted the things that was going on. But I don't feel like he's regretting it, because he would have reached out to Kyle's mother. He would have reached out to RJ. He would have reached out to me and then shut it down. He's still petitioning for us to speak kindly of his wife. And, she did not, let me make this clear, she did not kill Kyle. But you know what the Bible say? Life and death is in the power of the tongue. And guess what? He continues to try to defend what she said. And what I don't understand, that your wife has issues, but it's not just his wife, it's him enabling her. Like, for instance, on the reunion, she said that he gave her some brown stuff, and I'm assuming that's Hennessy Jack or something. But Andy asked her in front of everyone, was she still on medication, and she is. And my question, is she drinking on medication? But you know what? Chris tries to like poke at me and RJ, and I don't know why. Kyle is gone, leave it alone. And when they bought Kyle up on the reunion, Kyle was grown. And Monique, even if Kyle loved Monique the way he did, Monique wouldn't have been able to control what came out of Kyle's mouth. Now, I have been on the good end of Kyle and the bad end of Kyle. And that's how you know you in love. When you are friends, when you know that you can take criticism and receive criticism. And Kyle, you know, he had a heart, but was Kyle messy? Yes, because Kyle, the same thing he taught me and RJ, he didn't take his own advice. If somebody come after you, shut up. If you came after Kyle, Kyle was going to dig a hole and make sure his tongue would have had you all the way in the hole. But he never would say he wished somebody death or somebody harm. And that's what bothered me, that Chris can still come in my DMs and try to make excuses for his wife. And she's still doing stuff. She hasn't stopped. The camera stopped rolling and she's still messy. She will get on every platform every single day dressed like a clown for y'all to join her circus. And he is eating it up. Chris is eating it up. He didn't have to come on RJ's show the other day. When you sign up for these shows, you take what they say, compliments and insults. That's what you signed up for. Then he was respectful with RJ, but he was condescending with RJ. Let's take it back. Let's take it back. No, you don't want RJ to hit the PowerPoints that you and your wife are narcissists. Something is wrong with both of them. And I understand they need this money. But today I got a DM, you and RJ trying to ruin me. We not trying to ruin you, bro. Stay away from us. You hit our nerve when you keep bringing up Kyle. He's not here to defend himself, but now he got people here that will defend him.
That's right. And another thing that was irritating to me throughout the season, and then with this whole thing coming up with Chris, was that they never wanted to bring Kyle up. They tried so hard to get rid of Kyle this season 5. Kyle was the one who broke the fight story. He was the first one to report Candace and Monique's fight. And the women were so upset. There's a lot of behind the scenes to that.
Yeah.
Keep to myself, but they were very upset. They were being upset. And then Monique had a podcast and Kyle was there. He filmed with Ashley, Monique, and some other people. And they swept all that under the rug. Never wanted to give him any credit. And that hurt.
Right. It hurt him.
That hurt him. But you know what? That was okay. In my mind, I was like, you know what? Okay, granted. Don't bring him up then. Don't use him as collateral damage. Don't say anything else about him. Y'all didn't want to give him credit while he was here. That was like, as my friend, like me being his friend, that was my stance. I was like, okay, yeah, y'all have that. Y'all can have that TV show. That's fine. But now y'all don't speak of his name since y'all don't want to give him credit about anything. They put up reality, all these other.
Yes.
I'm like.
And do you know when that show aired on Sunday and he wasn't up there, Kyle produced his own filming when he was talking to Ashley and Monique. But I'm going to tell you something. Kyle he put it out, but Monique didn't tell Kyle about that. It was someone else.
It was you know who the person is?
We know.
Who released
that. We won't get into that.
No.
We won't. Yeah. I wouldn't even mention that person's name.
No.
That's like an inside thing. I don't think we should even mention that person's name. Not relevant. Just to get back on, I'll get back on the rails. RJ, that interaction that you had with Chris Bassett, you wouldn't really call that harassment, but it was more. He was antagonizing you, but it really wasn't harassment, right? Let's just make that clear.
I don't know. It wasn't harassment. Was it calculating? In my opinion, very much so. And now that I know that he was on there at the beginning, I didn't know he was on there at the beginning of my live. It was very calculating. But you hear him say that he likes me and respect me, and people that love the Bassets were trying to figure out, why does he like and respect? Because I'm on the scene in DC. Y'all only see a show. There's a reality after the show.
Right.
And in MV, I'm very much on the scene and integrated on the scene. So that's why he was saying that he likes me and respect me. But then at the end of that, I'll DM you. And that's when I flew off the handles.
He may not have necessarily harassed you, but he has harassed other Black bloggers, including myself. And we know that he harassed Marcella. I have So Debonair backstage. He's harassed him as well, I would say, but more specifically Kyle. And that's what I kind of want to dive into. So back in June, Chris Bassett attacked Kyle with some very vile and nasty DMs that have never been released. And I have those DMs. Kyle shared them with me. And also Kyle sent me screenshots of those DMs and also sent me an audio of him asking me to publish a blog, right? Kyle wanted me to publish a blog about Chris Bassett's DMs to him, calling him all kinds of nasty names. And I'm going to go ahead and play that audio because a lot of people never, it was private. It was between him and I. And I didn't get around to publishing that story because another major news scandal broke at the time. And I just put it on the back burner and I never got back to it. So I'm going to go ahead and play that audio.
I am appalled and disgusted concerning the DMs that I have received from RHOP's Chris Bassett. The fact that he thinks it's okay to speak to me, a gay Black man, in this tone speaks volumes of his character. Mr. Bassett has made a life off of living off of the hard work of Black people like his wife's mother, Miss Dorothy, who affords him his luxury lifestyle, and Black viewers of RHOP. This will not be tolerated. I am perplexed with the amount of advocacy Candace does for the Black Lives Matter movement, all while being married to Jim Crow. Change is coming.
Just listening to that gives me chills because at the time he was so upset. And this was back in June. And he said, Monica, can you please help me, get the word out? He sent me those DMs. And I have those DMs here that I want to share with everyone because it really speaks to the depths of how depraved Chris Bassett really is when it comes to, his privilege that makes him feel that he can attack Black bloggers like this. It's astounding to me. So DM number 1. He says, wow, that's an effing reach and a bitch post. You are truly a piece of effing trash for this one. So then Kyle responds and, he's just giving facts. He said, Candace taunts Monique. Fact. Candace got dragged by Monique. Fact. You told me Mo punched her in the head 3 times and slammed her head on the table. Fact. Candace did seek aid from authorities. Fact. Fans rallied around Monique. Fact. But okay, because that's all Kyle was doing, was posting the truth, the facts. And he would be attacked, all the time by Chris Bassett. So Chris Bassett responds, Candace isn't taunting Monique. Never said that. She slammed her head into the table. DM number 2, F you, for real. Don't tag me in your BS anymore. So Kyle responds with 100, right? Keep it 100. He says, and then Chris Bassett says, I tried to be nice to you. Now I'm a deadbeat. You think because I block you, people don't send me the ish? You are a sick F with 0 life. So Kyle responds, so if I'm blocked, why are you in my DMs right now? And Chris responds, because I unblocked your sorry ass to respond to that lie I guess you wrote, is what it says. I'm going to continue on here. Because I unblocked your sorry ass to respond to the lie you posted. And Kyle says, well, where's the lie? You're a effing Happy Meal away from death, you fat F. It is definitely a lie. You just started something you can't finish. And Kyle responds, yikes, attend to your wife and your kids. Chris Bassett responds, remember where that got you the last time. And Kyle responds, and this is why you will never be Chris Samuels.
Wow, I have not seen those in a while.
You are a happy meal away from death. This is what Chris Samuels is telling a young man that he knows has health issues. And I'm sorry, Chris Bassett, correction. Chris Bassett is telling a young man that he knows has health issues and, was in serious trouble with his health, was fighting for his life. But yet he would get up every single day and blog and just do his job and post facts. It was nothing, he did it in a satirical type of way where he made people laugh by adding a GIF and adding music. But at the end of the day, Candace and Chris Bassett are public figures. You sign up for this. And if you can't take the truth and your only reaction to the truth is to resort to, wishing death on people, they both need to be off that show and seek some serious help.
You think Beyonce addressed these? Beyonce can give 2 cents about what people try. They have made up so much stuff on that lady.
Yeah. I'm going to bring Plez on. Plez, I know you've been listening, hun. Hey. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on those DMs? Kyle's, last words to Chris, which are so it's daunting. Just listening to it really puts me in a bad mood.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I did not know much of this even existed. I've never gone this far down the rabbit hole of RHOP. So I'm glad that you are uncovering it and bringing it to light. Like, I think hearing the backstory and seeing the backstory makes it real for a lot of the fans, and maybe makes them understand why the Samuels feel the way that they feel. Like, this is a lot, to wish death, I've said it many times before, on someone is just the lowest of the low. It's despicable. And at this point, the person unfortunately did die, and you don't even have the decency to reach back out and say, you know what, I went too far. I'm so sorry that I ever said those things. May he rest in peace. Like, something. Candace hasn't done anything but dig her heels in the ground further, as if to say that she's right in her stance. Like, some things are just too low that you shouldn't even utter them, speak of them. This, coupled with the text that we know that she sent to Karen, really does make me think that she needs some serious mental help, some serious therapy, and hopefully she takes her therapy seriously than what she has shown on the show already. The therapy that they showed on the show, she still showed no self-awareness. She thinks her hands are clean, and that's not true.
And if I might be able to add, it's sad, Plez, Marcella, and Monica, that Candace is that far removed or disengaged from her humanity to be able to say, like, that was wrong. I apologize. When you are on a national platform and you say things like you wish death on people, then there's other people that think that that's okay to do too. And then there's other people that think that, oh, okay, I can threaten Kyle too. And when she wished death upon him, there's a family behind that person that you wish death upon. There are friends behind that person that you wish death upon. You cannot expect them to just be silent. You should expect them to say something. Like, it was a time where it was, national public figure blog, public figure blog. But then once you brought the death into the realm of things, yes, his family is going to be upset and say something. Yes, his friends are going to stand up and defend him. Who else would we be if we did not? You know what I'm saying? And another viewer on Monica's channel, I just saw the comment pop up, reminded me, yes, she definitely wished death on her own followers. And I screenshotted them. I have multiple screenshots of her wishing death on her own followers, like to drop dead and stuff like that. So she uses this language pretty often and she's used to it. That's why when I found out that, you know, she apologized for her Twitter tweets when it came to, you know, the LGBT community. I was like, that's BS, because the few weeks before that, she had wished death upon Kyle. And then also she misgendered Riley Knox, somebody who she's been knowing, called Riley a he like 2 or 3 times on the live that she was on. And she did it purposely. She knows Riley very well. And she never knew Riley before the transition. She only knew Riley after transition. So it was it was almost to like get back at Monique, you know, he. She kept saying that. So that's why I see a lot of this, and I'm so frustrated and I'm so upset. But that's her. That lets you know who she is at the deepest core of her, of her soul. You know, it doesn't seem like a good person to me. It doesn't seem like a well-rounded individual to me. And yes, Kyle would tell you himself. He would say, okay, Marcella, hold on. He would tell you oh, I thought you, oh, okay, yeah, I got you. He would tell you himself that he was messy. So y'all can go ahead and y'all can have that. He would tell you himself, yes, I'm messy. Yes, I'm biased. Okay, choose to go to his page or don't. Why is this page rattling you? You know, why is this page getting under your skin? I just don't get it. If it was that serious, y'all could have took him to court. Y'all could have taken. There's so many different avenues that we could have went, but this goes to show you who she is at her deepest core.
And you know what's so crazy? When Kyle and Chris went to court for that domestic violence charge, it was about these threats that Monica just Chris did not walk out there victorious. Kyle decided that he didn't want to go any further with it. And that was because Chris was buttering him up before the court. But I'm saying, when Kyle said something about go take care of your kids, don't worry about me, Candace put out that her husband was the deadbeat dad, not Kyle. She had produced something on some blog and Kyle read it and then brought up that he wasn't doing for his children, but because he couldn't. He was too busy babysitting Candace. And I'm saying Candace getting a lot of stuff that Chris goes behind her and tried to clean up. When I say that he talks to me respectful, but he's trying to explain why his wife is allegedly crazy. You know, she has told a fan, your child looks like Chucky. That means she trolled that friend's page. She has told a fan to jump out of a window and kill yourself. And now I see that Chris also told Kyle to kill himself. Now, Kyle was a strong blogger, but things did hurt him. And he did tell RJ and myself, and he would tell us, ignore it. They don't know me. They don't know me. But we knew behind the scenes that Kyle was struggling with this. And that's what hurt me, that you can reach out to me and RJ, and we are good friends of Kyle, but you wouldn't reach out to his mother, who you knew you could reach out to. And that was just ridiculous. Or afterwards, she didn't come out and say, I made a remark, I didn't mean to say it, or nothing. He was with RJ trying to apologize the other day for what his wife did. It doesn't mean anything until his wife herself comes out and say it. And now nobody can accept it because we're still mourning. We are still mourning right now. We have bad days all week, every week, because Kyle is there. I can feel him sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially when I drink the Hennessy. I can like really feel
Oh Lord, speaking of the Hennessy, y'all, Marcella had us on the floor. She had us on New Year's Eve. We had a New Year's Eve bash. And Marcella was on 10, and it was a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah.
It was.
Carlos Harris in the chat has a comment. He says the Bassets are so distasteful and will be the downfall of RHOP franchise. They better pray those Bravo checks don't stop after 2021. Well, they always have Miss Dorothy's checkbook purse to fall back on. I mean, Chris is unemployed. He sells fish plates out of his kitchen. Candace has the only thing she has going for her is RHOP. And if she doesn't tread lightly, she may lose that as well. Because, you know, if y'all noticed during that reunion, Andy Cohen gave her a few warnings. He brought up her social media behavior because she's a liability to the franchise. She really is. Now, I want to piggyback off of something that both RJ and Marcella spoke about, you know, Chris, once again, going in people's DMs and Chris trolling. Now, when I say Chris Bassett, it could be Candace Bassett. They're interchangeable and they operate together. So you never know who is who. So when Kyle passed away, I put up several different posts on my IG. On the day he passed away, like I said, I held a virtual memorial for him here on YouTube. Y'all can check out that video after this live. It was Monique Samuels, RJ, Marcella, you know, and myself and Cookie. Well, here's the post I posted on IG. 2 days later, a fake account came on that same post right here on my IG and said, you are disgusting for blaming Kyle's death on Candace, which I never did. I mean, the headline clearly said, the blogger that Candace wished death on has passed away. That's all it said. And that's a fact. That's not saying Candace, you know, actually did it. So the person wrote this fake bot account, you know, that had 0 followers, said, you are disgusting for blaming Candace's death on, Kyle's death on Candace. Your ass is next, you know, essentially wishing death on me too. I was so disgusted by, because normal people don't talk like that. That's not a normal thing someone says, you know. You have to be really gutter butt, really down low in the pits of hell kind of mentality to say something like that. So I screenshot the comment because it sat with me. You know, it didn't sit well with me, but it sat with me. But I had to put it on the back burner because we were dealing with Kyle's death and the memorial, and you, Marcella, and RJ and Monique were planning the funeral, and there was a lot of conversation, and we all were in mourning, you know. So I went back to it, and I responded to the person. I couldn't help it. You know, the devil sometimes is busy, because I try not to really respond to people, but I just couldn't help it. I responded. So me and this person's going back and forth. And at first, I couldn't definitively say if it was Candace or Chris. But then the person posted something personal. And they mentioned the name of someone that did something to Kyle that no one, like the public, don't know. We know behind the scenes. And when they mentioned that person's name, I said, you just gave yourself away, Chris Bassett. You just gave yourself away. No one knows that. No one, that's not what he wrote, has not been commented anywhere. It hasn't been printed anywhere. It's a personal thing behind the scenes. So then I said, Chris Bassett, you know, I started communicating with people on the thread. I was in my emotions. I said, it's Chris Bassett. And I blocked the person. Next thing you know, 30 minutes later, Chris Bassett is in my DMs apologizing, telling me he's so sorry for everything and that I have a wonderful blog and he wants to talk to me. Can we talk? And I have those DMs. I didn't respond to him. You know, again, I was in mourning, but I have those DMs and I want to share them with you. So this is DM number 1. Seriously, though, I'm not trying to do this again. I feel bad for Kyle and have spoken with RJ as well. It really is sad, but why all the hate? Even before the issues with Kyle, I don't understand. I'm not telling or asking you, for that matter, how to run your blog. That's your business. And you seem to be great at it. So that was number 1. I'm not telling you how to run your blog. You seem to be great at it. I don't want to fight or argue with you. If you could just not tag me, it would be appreciated. But I'm not going to go back and forth with you. It didn't work out well before. Excuse me? He's referencing Kyle. It didn't work out well before. So Kyle died? Really? Really? And I don't have the energy. I understand you are hurt about Kyle and what my wife said about Kyle. I had some messed up things to say as well. I'm glad that he and I were able to apologize to each other and just keep it moving. Decoding not to, I guess he meant deciding not to respond, tag each other on posts, hoping you and I can do the same. I truly am sorry for the loss of your friend. I hope you are doing well. Hope you're doing well. I'm open to have a real talk, but only if you want to. I don't want to fight and argue with you. I promise you that. This reality TV life is crazy. Honestly, don't mind the ish talking. Sometimes it's actually funny. I'm not asking you to be my friend or like me or whatever. I just really don't want to go down the same path with someone else. What path? You're a public figure. I'm a blogger. Okay, I'm going to report what I want, and you're supposed to sit there and eat your food. Hello, if you can't handle fame, remove yourself and your wife from reality TV.
Yeah.
I'm going to add the bishop to the chat.
Hey,
how y'all
And I
doing?
want y'all to know that Candace's mother told us that she was bipolar. Candace's mother said that on the show.
Hey, Bishop, can you sound off on Chris Bassett and this fake account? Literally just spending all day attacking me, wishing death on me as well. Yeah,
I told
pretty
y'all.
much. Pretty much.
I told y'all they some Bassett hounds. Now, I know it's funny, but when you think about bloodhounds, especially during the Jim Crow time, they used to be sick on black people. And we all know Candace is the white girl of RHOP, and she do these fake tears, and I'm talking about like the white girl Jim Crow time. I'm not talking about just anybody, but it's just that attitude she has, like I'm privileged, and her husband like I'm privileged, and now I'm seeing all these messages. You think you have the right to dictate what black bloggers say? I don't see you dictating that to people, other groups of people, harassing them and staying on them about what they're saying. Like, come on now, like you don't own us, and I don't like that ownership type of talk that he's saying.
Yes.
And to me it's distasteful, and both of them need to be off the show after reading these messages. They need to be gone. Like seriously. Mm-hmm. Like it's getting to the point to where you're wishing death on people, talking about you're next. Like life and death is in the power of the tongue. Yeah. Why is you saying those things? Like if I can see if you don't fool with nobody and you can't stand them, the best thing you can do is pay them dust. Matter of fact, you should be kissing the bloggers behind for keeping your name relevant. Because like Wendy, nobody's paying her dust. Robin, you see nothing but tumbleweeds. So you should be glad people keeping your name relevant. Now keep all that drama on the show, but when you start doing it in real life, she better watch what she's doing, because someone gonna pull up on her and mollywop her real good. And since someone need to mollywop him too, the way he talking.
Absolutely. And they troll our pages every day. I mean, I don't have no beef with no one on my page. My page is inspirational. And guess what? They'd get up there and say, you need to worry about your husband. Get out of Monique's butt. And Kyle is dead and stuff like that on my page. What? And then I have my followers who are trying to defend me, and I let them all know. Mm-hmm. Do not talk to those back to them. I will block them. They do not know me. Because if you roll up here where I live at, I got a concealed permit, a strong finger, and I will use it. They troll. Chris trolls me and RJ all the time. Yeah, and we know it's him because the words that he says. Just like he said to Monica, we don't have to be friends, but one day we got to talk. We don't have to talk about nothing.
I know. What is he talking about? I didn't
Right.
respond to that. This was back in November. I didn't respond to the DMs because I'm not here to, it's like a mother or a parent and a child relationship. We can't be best friends. I'm better off not being your friend so I could write all the stuff about you. You know what I mean? It doesn't benefit me as a blogger to be friends with these reality stars. But sometimes down the road, you do become friends with some. Like I love Monique. We become friends. She's a genuine heart. She's a beautiful person. And hey, if I could be friends with every reality star, that'd be great. But I mean, the downside to that is when you go rob the bank, I can't write about it.
Look.
But you know what? I want to say this so importantly. Allegedly, Chris is on the Forbes, and he is friends with Benji from Forbes of the Cooking Network. And what he's doing, I'm from New York, so what he's doing, if I wanted to be nasty, just put it out on that New York circuit scene. And nobody will touch him with these things he's saying. Those texts, he's texting us. He's giving us the evidence to say this is from him. And it's not hard to pull, his IG address. Those texts that we're getting where he's threatening and doing stuff, it's not hard to get his IP address. If you know the right people, they pull those IP addresses for you. But like RJ had got a little bit of tiff with Chris, and and I wanted to find out who sent that to RJ. And they let me know because he didn't threaten RJ, they couldn't go after him that particular time. But if he do, we know who it is sending him the messages. Let us know if he makes a life threat. We know where they're coming from. We know the names they make up. But guess what?
Threats in games when it comes to these fake accounts, these phantom accounts. I don't play that. You want me, oh baby, I will take it there and I will get your IP address. So if you want to threaten anybody, honey, you better not do it to me because I'm sure that I know exactly who I am dealing with and who the enemy is. I just wanted to say this because I saw a lot of this in the comments from different people on the Bassett team, and they were saying, oh, but she didn't kill him. Okay, let me say this. No, she didn't kill him. We all know that. We all know that. But what she did it resonate with him? Yeah. He's saying to people, maybe she's right. Maybe I should be dead. He had just lost his grandma a week before she wished death upon him. I went to the funeral. Then the family invited me to sing at grandma's funeral. And a week and a half after, she goes and wishes death on Kyle. She knew exactly what she was doing.
Yeah.
They all talk. One thing I learned about doing the Black Socialites is that they all talk. This is why we get information. They all talk. Every single one of them. And not only do they talk, but they look too. They all look. So for her to do that, to have the audacity to know his condition, to know what he was going through, and then a week and a half after we buried his grandma, to go ahead and thought that it would be so nice. And she had to turn on her filter to make sure she was cute. To wish my friend death, yeah, it's getting me upset again because I didn't even think about all of that. It's so much behind the scenes that has happened. And this is when you see me kind of like erupt on my live because it's just so much. And finally, I had the opportunity to place it somewhere, and it just so happened to be Chris. Like he did, I will say this because I always give props where props is due. After the live, it compelled him to go ahead to loop me and Aunt Paulette, which is Kyle's mom, into a group chat, and he did write a long message and apologized. He did. So let's just put that on record, guys, because I won't take anything from anyone if they're trying to do the right thing. And so he did do that.
RJ, thank you. Listen, guys, RJ is now running the Black Socialites social media accounts. Please go follow Black Socialites and RJ over at IG. And also, again, I just want to reiterate, you and Chris Bassett, you both were live. He was on your live, but it wasn't necessarily, he didn't threaten you or harass you. This was more about Chris Bassett doing that to other Black bloggers, including myself. I just want to make that very clear. If you guys, like I said, please go follow RJ. Also follow him on YouTube, right, RJ? RJ has a new YouTube.
Guys, I have strayed away from the YouTube land, and Adam from Up and Adam, he's tried to convince me, Marcella, and so many other people. So I've finally made a YouTube, and yes, just like my Instagram, which is rj.allen, rj.allan, like you see on the screen. My YouTube coincides, but without the dot in the middle. So it's just RJ Allen. So that's my YouTube, y'all. I'm here.
Thank you so much. You are a beautiful spirit. I won't hold you up because I know you're a very busy man.
I am
you got a social life. You was like, look, Monica, shoot. You better push that thing back to 7 o'clock. I was like, oh. It was a mutual thing because I was like, listen, I'm still hungover from New Year's Eve. My goodness, I am still hungover. So I was like, RJ, listen, I can get up at 7 a.m. I've been getting up at 11 o'clock since New Year's Eve. It's not good. It's not good.
Girl, let me
yeah, she got lit.
You must have picked up where Marcella left off.
You guys go follow RJ on social media. I love you, RJ. Hugs and kisses to you, brother. You are an amazing, amazing, amazing spirit. Love you.
Thank you. And hi, y'all. Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi. Bye. Have a great evening.
Happy New Year. You have a good one, man.
All right, y'all. We're going to dive into this even further because this really, again, something needs to be done about the Bassets.
The Bassett
Bravo to me, they're not doing anything. They're not. Schoolboy, do you want to sound off on this or?
Sitting back and just listening to everything and just taking it in. First off, I want to say, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And so you can say what you want to say about me. I'm very grounded. I meditate every day because all I'm going to tell you is I'm praying for you and go heal yourself because that energy, I don't have nothing to do with that. I watched the video when she apologized for the things that she said about the LGBTQIA plus community. And it read very disingenuous then. And Funky was asking some very good questions in the interview. But it's one of those things, and I had a grandfather that was bipolar, schizophrenic, manic depressant. And there's one thing about them when they're off in the wind, it reminds me of the Kanye West behavior. It's very erratic. They speak, they get crazy and they just run off at the mouth, and it's not who they are. Now, when you mix hearing it saying that she's on medication and she's mixing it with alcohol, that's never a good combination. Okay. Andy tried to politely check her and say, hey, you might want to chill out with the Twitter fingers. And it was kind of like, well, yeah, I know my mouth is bad, but I can be really, but I'm just saying what I feel. And you can't just, you have to be cognizant of what you say to people because everybody don't take it the same. You don't know what a person on the other end of that side of that screen is going through. They might be going through depression. They might have lost a job. They might be suicidal. You don't know what a person is going through. Candace has no filter and no respect for nobody, including herself and her husband. I've always felt that birds of a feather flock together because there is no way in hell. I'm sorry, excuse me, saying that on YouTube. But there is no way that a man would be married to a woman like that and know that they have this much of an issue with their mouth and they're okay with that. It further leads me to believe that them baby mamas don't care for her neither. And that's probably why them kids ain't really being seen around him like that, because nobody wants their child being exposed to someone that is very, very unhinged. That's not okay. Allegedly, allegedly. I don't know, but it's odd that a man that is married to you are on a national platform and we know nothing about anything outside of the fighting, the arguing, the wildness, and everything like that. the only way that I could say that she could honestly come back from all of this mess, they would have to do some serious damage control with fixing her.
Yeah.
And it needs to come of her being removed from the show at this point. And I'm really wondering, you know, like, what is Bravo going to do? Because a word on the curb, and I'm looking at all the blogs, and the cryptic messages that Robin is posting is kind of like deuces. So, and I've heard that there's 2 other new housewives supposedly coming into integration. So how is this going to work with you going to have, because who are you going to blame next year for her antics and the way that she acts? Because you can't control what bloggers say or what anybody says on their platform. It's what they're allowed to say. It's a free country. And if you don't like it, you need to get off TV. My apologies. I'm sorry.
I don't mean to interrupt. I just want to address this comment in the chat. D. Turner says, misleading title of the blog. You must have joined the blog, joined the live late, because we clearly read text messages of Chris Bassett threatening Black bloggers, including myself. So I don't know what you mean by that. Can you elaborate for us? Because I just don't understand.
Well, they're making assumptions. That's all, Monica. And that's their problem. Like, people make assumptions all the time without actually looking into something, paying attention, and reading it. That's why our country is so in trouble. People just look at headlines and don't even read the doggone article. Watch the video. Monica has shown her evidence.
Whoever's in the chat talking about this is only child syndrome. That's BS. That's not only child syndrome. Okay. Yeah. I dated someone that's only
Happy
child.
Joy also says, what did Chris say? What did Chris say? You probably came in late also. Watch the whole video from the beginning after we get off, because we went over all of that, what he said. Pretty nasty, vile things.
I just want to,
Marcella.
An only child.
Marcella, did you say something?
Yeah, Candace was the only child between her biological parents.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Miss Dorothy and her husband got a divorce, they had 2 more kids within this marriage with her new husband. And I think Candace was fighting for that attention, because she was used to her and her mother being together. And that's not alleged. It was just them 3. And I really think she started living behind the gate after her mother married Dr. Watts. And I have sent Monica all this proof that, you know, for her to say that she came up behind these gates, Dr. Watts had his own children with her mother. I think Candace has been fighting for attention all her life. And now she met a husband who also allegedly needs help. So he's willing to put up with her crap and defend her, because you know what, y'all? I believe this in my soul, is my opinion. Chris is going to be out the door when he get his foot firmly on the ground. Nobody wants to sleep with a child, and he has to keep babysitting. And then they bring up that they're not having much sex. How long can a husband put up with that? They're not going to keep wiping your mess up and kissing your butt and cooking for you and doing all this, and you're not doing your wifely duties, as Micah say, as 2 Corinthians tell you, you got to do your wifely duties. He's doing everything for his wife, and she's doing nothing but trying to grasp the attention that she needs. She's an attention whore. Her husband is an attention whore, and they're going to start fighting each other. Because y'all, Monica need to really let y'all know that house, they don't have that house in there.
Marcella, I'm going to put you in the backstage for a little bit, because I want to bring on So Debonair. He was also has encounters with Chris Bassett he wants to share. So hang out backstage, honey. Hey, So Debonair.
Hey, how you doing?
I want to give you an update that I didn't even have until we got onto this live, right? So me and Chris Bassett were friends on Facebook, right? Look what my Facebook says. Add as a friend.
What? He added you, or
no? He befriended him.
He friended me today.
Ooh. So he's been watching. Wow.
I posted on my Facebook that I was coming here today. He unfriended me today.
Wow.
So,
wow. the petty and the childish runs deep in that between those two.
Very much so.
So tell us your experience. I have the screenshots that you sent me, but explain what they are.
So throughout this time of this show going on, I think a lot of people don't realize my background is in broadcasting. So when it comes to reality TV, it's my thing. I do it all the time. So I post about it on my page all the time. So when Potomac came up, I was really conflicted because I didn't really see why people were giving Monique the flack they were giving her. And so the more that I posted, I started seeing Chris Bassett in my comments. I didn't know we were friends on Facebook at all. And so I did know because I used to live in Columbia, Maryland. So I have friends that are around that area. And so I started to realize that not only were her friends commenting on my post, but he started commenting on my post. And so I did make a post when Robin posted her post about the death threat that she got. And I said, well, I'm not gonna give Robin a pity party about this death threat because I mean, this is not the first one that she got at all. So Chris Bassett got into my comments, and I think that's the one of the scripts that I sent you. And basically we're just saying like, well, why is this different from Candace doing this with a blogger who has been attacking her all year? Or you want to pull that up or you want me to keep going? Monica.
Sorry, I muted myself. I can pull them up right now. Just give me a few minutes. I got them right here. Let's pull them up. Okay, that's the first one.
Yeah, he said, so the original post was about Robin and her death threat that she got. And I said, I'm not giving Robin a pity party because this is not the first one she got, but she wants a pity party. And he said, then why are so many people mad at Candace, wished a death on a blogger that have been harassing her for over a year? People are funny. Now, to me, watching RJ's video, that doesn't make sense if you have so much sorrow about this situation. If you felt like this was wrong, why are you justifying the fact that she did this? That doesn't make any sense. Chris Bassett has been in my comments multiple times. Like these are, like I think I sent you two.
Yeah.
This is two of many of comments that I've had. This one that I really didn't understand, and it says, "This is all I'm going to say. Don't come for someone, then be mad at how they react. You don't get to dictate how I feel about what you have done to me. So if someone is doing something, I don't know what the F meant, you don't like, you give them a reason to stop." Candace responds, so what people say to her, nothing she said in that moment at the barn to Monique was worthy of Monique putting her hands on Candace. Monique herself said she wasn't even mad at Candace and didn't deserve that. Didn't apologize, just said she didn't deserve it. So what accountability for her part does Candace need to take for doing the job that she has been trying to contract to do? This isn't a street, this is a job. So let me give you guys the backstory about this post. So that post was about Candace and Monique's fight. And what Chris Bassett did was he backtracked because if he feels like if you're going to give it to someone, they're going to give it back to you, then why does he not have the same energy with Monique when she gave it back to Candace when Monique fought her? In the Black community, we already know hands, it's a threat. Yeah. It's that we do in the Black community, period. Also, and hold on, let me go back and look at it because it was something else in there that I seen. So someone's doing to you, blah, blah, blah. Monica herself said it wasn't Candace. Oh, so that was the other thing. They gave Candace time to process what happened with her. They didn't give Monique that time. So yes, Monique said what she said at that time because it made sense. She was processing that still. And so when Chris came into my comments, I'm like, well, how do you receive the fact that Candace needs time, but you don't receive the fact that Monique needs time to process what happened? Because they keep on saying, well, Monique changed the story so many times. I said, because She already admitted that she blacked out. She admitted what triggered her. They didn't hear that. She also admitted the fact that she apologized for it. Then she also said, she went back and she said, well, by the time that this started happening, I really couldn't give my full view on it because so much stuff happened in between time. And so any of us know that's been in the Black community, that's been somebody been in a fight. If you don't keep talking stuff about me, how am I able to be sorry about it? Like it doesn't make any sense. And so for me as a viewer watching this and thinking about my other female friends that have been into fights, sometimes they are sorry because they fought their friend. But guess what? If my friend is still running around the street saying, oh, well, she's this, and she's that, that apology starts to retract because obviously it was more than what we fought about. And they never gave her the opportunity because even when she asked them to, she said, hey, you know, I'm having this event. And I guess I kind of learned today that I'll make that been at that event. So I didn't even know that part. But I also feel like they never really gave her the opportunity because they iced her out. And I went back today and I watched other episodes and she actually gave Candace's advice. Says you don't want to be isolated out of this group. And so, because I'm like, you know, I want to find out where this really started from. And I think that from me viewing the older episodes, this came from Monique's first season because Giselle not only liked her because of the four houses, but she also didn't like her because on that reunion, Monique stuck it to her and she didn't go back on it, which rightfully she should have done. When it comes to this Chris Bassett and it comes to the Monique thing, Candace thing, their mouths are both terrible. So it's like when you want him to hold her accountable, he then doubles down and did be even more disrespectful. And like, I wish I could have pulled up more stuff out of my comments because it's not only him in my comments, it's one of their friends as well. That we're social media friends. But they both ate and abetted her in her mouth. And I think the worst thing that they always say is, well, you can't handle her mouth. Well, if you can't handle her mouth, well, guess what? That's why Columbine happened. That's why people are committing suicide. So if these are the things you are saying, go back and look at why her mouth is a problem. But Chris Bassett does not hold her accountable. And even in the thing he did with RJ, he applauded Chris Samuels for taking up for his wife. But then you double back and say, well, I can't. Why should I not be able to do it? Well, you didn't give him that respect on the reunion. And what you should do was sit up and say, I respect that for taking up for his wife. Wrong or right?
Yeah.
And can I add something to that? When I watched that interview with RJ as well, he kept saying, well, everybody gives applause to Chris Samuels for sticking up for his wife. But when I do it, look, the difference between you and Chris Samuels is real with his wife. He even said on screen you was wrong for that. But he still loved her. He still loved her regardless. Yeah, he held her accountable. But but Chris Bassett Hound will not hold Candace Origami Kleenex posted accountable whatsoever. He'd be like, yeah, she wrong for that. She countersued you. And I'm like, you playing into it. You should have told her you wrong for going foul charge against her because you have a reckless mouth, honey. I'm gonna tell you right now, you had a reckless mouth with me in season 3 when they were together. She was talking crazy to them then. I'm like, ma'am, you off the chain.
But the biggest thing that he does in people's comments is he contradicts himself. And then when he doesn't, when he realizes it, he gives the same line. Well, I'm glad we can have a respectable conversation and not argue on social media. That's his main thing. And I realized, like, even when I went back today, when mine be on there, I went back to kind of see some of the commentary that we had, and he deleted a lot of the stuff off my page because he didn't want to be held accountable for the things that he said or have it on record. But Chris Bassett, he does not hold her accountable. I even think that he said on that live with RJ that she was in the counseling. Well, at what part we watched Monique go through counseling, and they told her, apologize, you were wrong for this. Make this right, like all these things. Candace never did any of that. And even when it comes to Kyle, she knew that Kyle died. She has never made a statement at all apologizing for saying what she said. What kind of
Candace's
counseling are you going through? Is Miss Dorothy counseling you?
Candace's therapist can't get to the conciliation part because Candace will not admit that she did wrong.
That's probably true.
It's steps, it's levels. So until a person can understand, hey, I took a part in this, we all saw that. The therapist clearly asked her, was there anything you did that contributed to this? Is there anything? And she was just sitting there staring blankly. Until she can own her own actions. And for me, that's my issue with Chris. You can't defend a person that won't admit themselves they're wrong. To me, that's where Chris Samuels and Chris Bassett are different. Monique made her apology. Yeah. She didn't need her husband to apologize for her. She was a woman and stood 10 toes down and apologized. She didn't mince words. She didn't say that BS. I'm sorry if I made you feel a certain way. She owned what she did. You can say it was a year later.
Even when Chris Samuels came out, he started off with apologizing. So we can't sit here and say that their counseling wasn't good because Chris Samuels came out the gate apologizing. And even when he kept making the mistakes of saying bad things, he kept saying, man, I'm so sorry. Like he kept apologizing so many times. They would not give him that time. They wanted to paint him out as an angry black man. But then they sit on that show and said, well, they're making everybody look like angry black women. But they had a plot to make him look like an angry black man, period.
The double standard is real, and I can't stand. This is what makes me upset with Chris Bassett. Hound, he likes to gaslight people, just make them seem like they're crazy and they didn't see what they were seeing. No, I seen what you did, fam, and what you were saying to RJ. You was trying to gaslight that brother and try to play like you're trying to be nice and let's be friends, Monica. Let's be friends, everybody. You know, I'm so sorry, and I didn't mean for this to happen. And fly off the handle next. Both of you and your wife is unhinged. Both of y'all is a little off.
It's scary too.
It's scary. I like that RJ did was when Chris said that I think that they were cool or something about the fact they kind of made peace. RJ said something about, do you think I'm stupid or something like? He doubled down on Chris. What's his Bassett because he was like, don't get on here and say that we're cool because you made peace with me. Like that didn't happen.
Right. Well, that's what he does. It's a sick game that they play. Attack, then, oh, we're so sorry. And then the next week, 2 weeks later, they're attacking you again under these multiple fake accounts, which it's like I said, that account posted something that no one else knew. They named someone that's not on TV, and they said what that person did to Kyle, which only the inside people know. So immediately it was, okay, you're Chris Bassett. So when I responded back and actually outed him as Chris Bassett, 30 minutes later, I have a DM from him apologizing. It's ridiculous.
That blew my mind.
And to me, Monica, it just again shows that we're dealing with people who are very, very emotionally immature. The issue is, like Marcel was saying earlier, Candace wants attention, but worse than attention, Candace wants to be liked. And when her and her husband are not liked, they are compelled to go places and plead their case. Like, you can't be that fragile and be on a reality TV. You absolutely cannot. She wants to be the Kenya Moore of the cast. She bought that old floozy, feathery looking fan that she never got to use the whole reunion. Those are waste of money, Dorothy's money. But Kenya stands in hers. You don't see Kenya going around to these fan pages and blogs, pleading her case, asking people to like her, begging people to be on her side. She's just not ready. She's not ready.
Speaking of Kenya Moore, I actually have a DM that Chris Bassett sent to Kyle, which Kyle sent to me, saying he compared his wife to Kenya Moore. He actually said Candace. He said Candace is the Kenya Moore of the cast. I'll dig it up. I'll get a screenshot and I'll put it on the screen in a few minutes.
Let me tell you this too, Monica. Her friend who comments on my page, they call Candace the villain of the show. And they believe that she's the villain. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense because it's really Monique.
You can't be a crier and a villain at the same time. Make up your mind, boo.
Right. I be telling folks
when they come on my page, they tag team on my page. Chris, Bassett, and the friend, they tag team. And they're like, well, you know, she's gonna come back next season because she's the villain. And I'm like, she's not the villain. Like, no one ever turns on Potomac and says, what's Candace doing this week?
No, she's a clown, and people love to watch. You know, they love to go to the circus and throw peanuts at the clown, and you know, that's all it is.
Send in the clowns. That's what I see every time she comes. She's a beautiful woman. I liked her on her first season when she is. Ashley meets her match when Candace comes in the room. Yeah. That's why I liked her, because the only person I could put Ashley in her place is Candace. Even in this reunion, when she had them comebacks, I laughed, because even though I couldn't stand her this season, she still is funny. She still can come back real quick. You know what I mean? I think that's why he tried to compare her to Kenya Moore, because her clapbacks is quick like Kenya Moore is, but the mindset ain't the same.
It's because she's in war with herself mentally. The younger Candace is screaming and she wants love and she wants acceptance, and she thinks that she's gonna get it through reality TV. And what she's coming off and she's doing is not reading well with people, and she's lashing out, but yet she wants help. At this point, for me, it ain't even about the show. It's not the antics. It's not none of that. I just want her, just like Chris Samuel said, I really want you to get the help that you need, because you need it. And Bravo needs to understand, when someone is crying out to that level, you need to pull them from the show. It just needs to happen.
Marcella, you muted. She's trying to talk.
Oh, sorry. Oh, there you go.
The first time I ever seen Candace cry all these seasons, when she was sitting on the stage this time, and she was hurt. Because I know that she literally loved Monique, and guess what? She put Karen right up there with her mother. And you know what? And when and you heard that she's trying to be the Kenya of the show. I heard that she's trying to be the Nene of the show. And guess what? She wanted to make this popular, these tissues, but honey, she could not hold back those tears now, because you know what? She has been embarrassed. You know, she's broken, and her mother still couldn't comfort her. And she goes on every station she can to call out Monique, and it's still not working, because Monique is thriving and she's just surviving. And her husband is saying it's going to be all right. But y'all, I heard allegedly she's pregnant.
Allegedly, who's pregnant? Candace?
Yes.
Oh, goodness gracious. That sounds like a fake storyline for next season, but hey, who am I to talk about it?
She wants that sympathy.
Nothing going on. You see, the fight, season 5 was the whole storyline for everyone. If you didn't have a storyline, praise God, you got lucky, because that fight saved everybody, right? So think about it. Outside of the fight, what did we see of Candace and Chris? We saw her go to the bathroom, not wash her hands, and pull out a pregnancy test. That's all we saw. Saying that you pending, you know.
And you know what's so sad with that fight? It actually buried Wendy's storyline. Because Wendy has a whole functional, fun family. When I see her with her family, I want to see more of that. But I didn't. And the thing about Candace, what gets on my nerves is, what happened to your sister? I liked your sister when y'all had that time together talking about your hairline. I recently went on her page and the business page. I'm like, you actually got good products. You need to do what Candy's doing and promote your business. Talk about your hair. Your hair is always laid and slayed, however people say it.
Is it really her business?
It's always on point. Her hair is always on point. And I'm like, ma'am, talk about your hair. Like, come on now, ma'am.
Is it really her business though? Is it really her business though?
It is. She is a CEO. It actually says on her page.
Is it on paper? Or who actually owns the business?
I'm not gonna get into all that.
And she's just a partner in that business, from what I watched today. Again, for the second time. So it's not her business. But you know what? Who else the storyline it messed up was Robinson. I think that's why Robin was so mad because the storyline is supposed to be Robin and Juan getting engaged, and they took it away from her. They could not even focus on the fact that, and I think that Giselle stole that from her too, because Giselle had a storyline. She stole that from her because Robin was not a part of any of that. And this I would have given her a chance, because at this point we don't even know if she's coming back.
No,
based off the farewell post that she's putting up, I gather she's
Guys,
not.
I have an update on that. I'm going live tomorrow, so tune in.
Did y'all realize that when Candace couldn't get at Monique, she wasn't phased? She started on Giselle.
Yeah.
She was defending Giselle at one moment and then tearing Giselle down. Well, if you get a silence for the day, and she began to attack Giselle. And you know, she just was all over the place. And that's why I think that she's too mature to be on the show, because she's with some damn women. You're not gonna come up against Karen. Karen's calm when she approaches her. You know what? You're saying that Wendy can read the library, but Wendy, you didn't give her a chance to show us that she could read. And then you got on Giselle when she was like, "Well, that's unfortunate." She knew that was going to show. She's grasping at straws.
Well, she was devastated after that, because she kept on saying that this is a rumor. It's something she's been waiting on this entire season. And when she dropped that phone number and Giselle confirmed it, Candace really had nowhere to go from this reunion after that besides to cry about this fight.
I love that part when she said, "That's unfortunate."
And she deflected when Andy said, "Are you on medication?" She said, "I want to know why Karen called my bosses." She answered the question. She shook her head yes, and she deflected over there to Karen. Now, nobody knew that Karen called. Nobody. And she put that out because she rather that went out than her being on medication. But Chris did confirm that she is on medication and she's going through a lot of counseling. I'm not seeing it because I'm seeing her every day try to pop something against a cast member.
But you know what?
She's been on a tirade for the last week with everybody online.
But it also drew questions for the viewers, because how are you on medication and you're drinking at the same time?
Easy. I know somebody that, well, I have a family member that did the same thing when her husband died, and you know, my aunt was mixing. And she was very erratic, and she said some very, very nasty things to my grandmother. And, you know, she still says and blames everybody else for him passing, which that ain't it. God took him home. We ain't had nothing to do with that. But when you're not in the sound mind, you can't take a narcotic and mix it with alcohol. That's not how that works. And then the fact that Bravo keeps saying that, oh, we're not loving hip hop, we're above VH1, but you got VH1 antics right here. This is past VH1 antics. I mean, even at least by now, they would have cut her off.
Yeah. All right. So, Debonair, thank you so much for joining us today. You know, sharing your experience with Chris Bassett and him unfollowing you because you were going live with us today. It just speaks to the level of petty in that family. Love you. Appreciate you. Have a great evening. Bye. Bye. Marcella, I have that tweet. Well, not tweet, the DM between Kyle and Chris Bassett. He goes, Chris Bassett says, she's like the Kenya of Potomac. And Kyle says, the thing is, they dislike her so much that they don't care what the footage shows. He's talking about Candace. Kyle was talking about Candace. And Kyle says, Kenya has a fan base, though. Chris Bassett responds, I know, and we have talked about that. Candace has one as well. It's not as big yet. She's only been on 2 seasons. They are so delusional. They really think that Candace will grow into this phenomenal superstar like Kenya Moore. I mean, like Kenya Moore or not, she is a stunt queen and she does her job. She shows up and she does her job really well. And she plays that villain role to a T. She actually has acting experience. It's different.
Yes, and producing.
And she knows how to play that character. She knows how to play the character too well, you know. And even Marcel has defended it and said, you know, hey, that's she's great outside of the show. You know, you see what you see. It's a TV show. It's yes, it's supposed to be, you know, unscripted, but it is acting. You know, it's a character that they're building to make money, and it's not who they are in real life. But at times, you have people that take the reality show so seriously and believe that that is really who they are. Them people human just like I am.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna believe everything I see.
You know,
The
guys,
Candace
there's
is
a lot of
supposed to be
people
the
that
moneymaker.
there's a lot of
Candace is the moneymaker for the family right now. She's the one bringing in that money, and she has to keep that position. I think it's too much pressure on him, and they're not seeing the signs. She's going to hurt somebody.
Well, he need to get a job.
I'm gonna for those that joined the chat late, because quite a few people have joined the chat late, and we're kind of like all over the place. I just want to go back and play the message that Kyle sent to me via DM, talking about Chris Bassett harassing him and the vile things that he said to him. I just want everyone to hear that again.
I am appalled and disgusted concerning the DMs that I have received from RHOP's Chris Bassett. The fact that he thinks it's okay to speak to me, a gay black man, in this tone speaks volumes of his character. Mr. Bassett has made a life off of living off of the hard work of black people like his wife's mother, Miss Dorothy, who affords him his luxury lifestyle, and black viewers of RHOP. This will not be tolerated. I am perplexed with the amount of advocacy Candace does for the Black Lives Matter movement, all while being married to Jim Crow. Change is coming.
Those are his words from the grave, y'all. May he rest in peace. But that speaks to this topic that we're here discussing today, the harassment by the Bassetts against Black bloggers. All right, let's wrap things up. Marcella, thank you so much for joining us today, this evening. We appreciate, we love you. Listen, y'all, our New Year's bash.
I need to come over there.
Marcella was lit. She was going off that Henny, y'all. New Year's Eve, we had a ball. Teacups, we all rang in the New Year together. It was amazing. Check out that video after this one.
Y'all had me in bed all day. I was in bed all day.
We didn't have you in bed. That man had you in bed.
He had you hemmed up.
This man had me in bed. This man.
We had so much fun. And listen, Teacups, we got a shout out from Darrell of Baton Rouge. Y'all know Darrell? Let me play that video for you guys real quick.
Hey, Monica and the Teacups, I was sitting here resting, and I thought about, I'm bringing y'all in 2021, where we gonna go, where the money reside, where the money reside, where the money reside, where the money reside. Okay, I want y'all to have a ball. I want y'all to make as much money as we can, because we're gonna go where the money reside with Monica, where the money reside with the Teacups, and we're gonna get the coin and we're gonna do it well. My name is Darrell, and that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. Okay, y'all heard that freestyle? But I want y'all to have a ball. I want y'all to have a good time. 2021 is coming in, and we're going to get all this money. Okay? And that's on Man Had a Little Lamb, period.
Where the money reside, where the money reside.
With the Teacups. Hashtag 2021. Let's get it. Thank everyone for joining us this evening. This was a robust conversation. A lot was exposed. If you joined the chat late, you need to watch the video from the beginning, because we dive deep into this conversation and exposed a lot. Plez, where can they find you?
Hey, y'all can find me at Scared Beautiful on IG, and just Scared of Beautiful, no periods, on YouTube. I should be launching my channel by the end of this month.
Yay! I can't wait. Bishop, where can they find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can just type in at Bishop Red Pill. and you should be able to find me that way.
Okay. Bishop Red Pill. Marcella, how can they find you?
Well, I got a YouTube, Come Speak to You Girl Marcella. And I also got a page, Facebook page, is All the Housewives Discussion. And that's where I'm at every day at noon.
Schoolboy, how can they find you?
Well, of course, I'm working on my YouTube page. We haven't got that together, but it's going to be at school_boy. Twitter is the same handle. I'm usually on there live tweeting with all the ratchet TV shows. And on Instagram, you can find me at school_boy_2012.
Sounds good. And folks, like I said before, subscribe to the channel if you love the content. And if you're already subscribed, bang that notification bell. All right. And like this video. We had at one point over 4,000 people in the chat on this video watching. Like the video. We need those likes. We're trying to reach a goal. And we're almost there. So help us out. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. Moderators, thank y'all so much for holding it down. I love you. Everyone that gave a super chat tonight, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all so much. Teacups, I love you guys. Everyone stay safe. Happy New Year. I'm telling y'all, go check out our New Year's Eve bash because we brought in the new year together and it was just, we had so many surprise guests pop up. And we just had so many laughs and we shared great stories and it was wonderful. I love y'all so much. Have a good evening. Stay safe and be blessed. Bye.
Bye.